so pretty when your hair is combed. There is only one respect in which I would like you to emulate your father.
What respect is that?
The care he always took of his appearance. Never allowed himself to look untidy. Always handsome. Where are you going?
I'm going to smoke.
You smoke too much. A pack a day at 15 cents. Imagine, honey, how much you could save 15 times 30 in a month. That would be surprising. Maybe enough to afford you a night school course in college, in accounting or advertisement. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing for you, son?
I'd rather.
I know, that's the tragedy of it. Fire escape landing is a poor excuse for a porch. What are you looking at? Is there a moon this evening? Oh yes, yes, I see it. The little silver slipper of a moon. Have you made a wish on it?
Yeah.
What did you wish for?
What did you?
Fine, I won't tell you either. I'll be just as mysterious as you.
I bet I could guess what you wished for.
Am I so transparent?
You're not a sphinx.
It's true, I don't have any secrets. I'll tell you what I wish for. Success and happiness for my precious children. I wish for it every time there's a moon. And when there isn't one, I wish for it anyway.
Funny, I thought you would have wished for a gentleman caller.
Why do you say that?
Well, don't you remember asking me to get one?
I remember suggesting that it would be nice for your sister if you brought home a nice young man from the warehouse. I remember making this suggestion more than once.
Yes, you did it repeatedly.
Well?
Well, we're having one.
What?
A gentleman caller.
You mean you asked a nice young man over from the warehouse?
Yes.
And did he accept?
Obviously.
Well, isn't that lovely?
I thought you'd be pleased.
So it's definite.
Very good.
Soon.
Very soon.
For goodness sake, stop putting on and tell me some things, will you?
What things do you want me to tell you?
Naturally, I would like to know when he's coming.
Oh, he's coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Tom,
What?
that gives me no time.
Time for what?
Preparations. Why didn't you call me as soon as you asked? The minute he accepted. Don't you see I could have been getting ready? Oh dear, it simply means I'll have to do some very fast thinking.
I don't see why you have to think at all.
You can't have a gentleman caller over at a pigsty. Things have to be pretty and nice, not sloppy, not thrown together. I have to wash and iron my monograph table linen and my favorite silverware. And we have to wear something, clothes, Tom. You don't seem to realize that this is the very first young man you have ever introduced to your sister. It is hideous, shocking, terrible. That poor little sister has never had a single gentleman call. Come inside with me, Tom.
What for?
I'd like to ask you some things. Sit.
Any particular place you'd like me to sit?
Thank God I have this new sofa and the lamp and chintz covers to brighten things up. And this is great, this is great. Of course, I would have liked to have the walls repapered, but... Right, what did you say this young man's name is?
His name is O'Connor.
Irish. Okay, tomorrow is Friday, that means fish. I'll have that salmon roll with turkey's dressing. Did you meet him at the warehouse?
Where else would I have met him?
Tom, does he drink?
Why do you ask me that?
Your father did.
Don't get started on that.
Make sure, make certain. The last thing I want for my daughter is a drunk for a husband. Old maids are better off than the wives of drunks.
Oh,
nice young man from the warehouse. What is his job, his position down there?
His position is that of a shipping clerk, Mother.
Any idea about his salary?
Yes, he makes $85 a month.
Not Princeton.
That's 20 more than what I make.
Ah, well, I know. Right. Tell me some more. What did you say his name was? Oh.
His name is James D. O'Connor. D is for Dylan.
Irish on both sides. And doesn't drink.
Do you want me to call him right this moment and ask him?
No. There are nice ways in which these things can be handled discreet. Back when I was a girl in Blue Mountain, and it was suspected that the young man had a drinking problem, then the girls who were giving him their attention would go down to the church and sleep with the minister. Or their father would do this if their father was alive. And they just sort of feel out his character, just to make sure the girls don't make any tragic mistakes.
Then how come you make such a tragic mistake?
That innocent look of your father's had everybody fooled. He smiled, and the world was enchanted. The worst thing a girl can do is put herself at the mercy of good looks. I hope this Mr. O'Connor is not too good looking.
No, he's not too good looking. He's a little bit homely though, with some freckles. Look, never mind, doesn't matter. One little warning though, Mother. All what I did was I went up to him and said, "Hey, Jim, do you want to have dinner with us tomorrow night?" And he said yes. That was the whole of it. He doesn't know about our Laura, and he doesn't know about our dark ulterior motives.
Of course that was the whole conversation. You're as eloquent as an oyster. However, he will be here tomorrow to meet with your sister. And once he discovers how sweet and lovely and pretty she is, he'll thank his lucky stars he invited him to dinner.
Mother, listen. You mustn't expect much from Laura. Well, you know, Laura seems all those things to us because she's ours and we love her, but we don't even notice that she's crippled anymore.
Don't say crippled.
Let's face the facts, Mother, she is. And that's not all of it.
What do you mean that's not all?
Laura is terribly shy, and she lives in a world of her own. And that makes her seem peculiar in the eyes of strangers.
Don't say peculiar.
But face the facts, Mother, she is. And all what she does is play with these glass ornaments, or play those old phonograph records, and that's about all.
I see. Where are you going?
Going to the movies.
Every night you go. I don't believe you go to the movies every night. Laura?
Yes, Mother?
Sweetie, come in here a minute. Let those dishes go. Come out front.
Yes, sir.
The movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Make a wish on it.
What will I wish for?
Happiness. Good fortune.
So, the following evening, I brought home Jim to dinner. I knew Jim slightly in high school. Jim was a hero. Yeah, that's what he was. He was a hero in high school. He was the captain of the basketball team, the football team, the volleyball logically thinking, with the pace Jim was moving in, you'd expect him, to be nowhere short of the warehouse by the time he was 30. But here we are now. 6 years after graduation, he's working in a warehouse, in a job not far better than mine. I think Jim ran into some interferences in high school. That's why I was valuable to him in the warehouse. Jim was the only one who I was on good terms with in the warehouse. I was the only one who could remember his former glory. I was the only one who saw him win basketball games and silver cups for the debate club. He knew of my habit of retiring to the washrooms when business was slack in the warehouse to write poems. While everyone else in the warehouse regarded me with hostility, Jim looked at me with his smile, charming smile, and that rubbed off on the others, and eventually they started to smile at me too. The same way people smile at a dog who trots. I don't think that Jim remembers Laura from high school, because when I asked him to come over for dinner, he said, "Gee, Shakespeare, never thought of you as someone who had folks." Well, he was about to discover that I did.
Mother, you're making me so nervous.
How have I made you nervous?
By all this fuss, you make it seem so important.
I don't understand you, Laura. You can't possibly be happy sitting at home all day. And when I try and do something for you, you just freeze. Now take a look at yourself. Wait, I have an idea. by your mother's appearance.
What is it now?
Possess your soul in patience, young lady. Something I've resurrected from this old trunk. Really, fashions haven't changed since then anyway. Ta-da! I won the cotillion in this dress twice, and I went to dances in it, and once to a ball, the governor's ball in Jackson. I wore it on Sundays for my gentleman callers. I was wearing it on the night I met your father. Yes, I had malaria fever, all right. Just a change of weather, really. I was just very fragile and restless, and my mother would say, "Stay home, you're sick, you have a temperature." And I'd say, "No, I'll go out." I'd take the medicine and I'd go. Invitations poured in from all over the Delta, dances at night and picnics and long rides in the afternoon. Just lovely. Just lovely. That country in May, all lacy with dogwood and just filled with jonquils everywhere you went. That was the craze I had for jonquils. The night I used to pick them up wherever I saw them. It was a joke. Amanda and her jonquils. My gentleman callers would come and help me pick them. And my mother would say, why, Amanda, no more jonquils. We have no room to put them all. And I'd say, I'll carry them. Malaria fever and jonquils. And then this boy. I don't think they'll be too long. Your brother and Mr. O'Connor. I gave them money so they can come in the car.
What did you say his name was?
O'Connor.
What's his first name?
I don't remember. No, Jim O'Connor.
No.
Yes?
Not Jim.
Yes, Jim. I never
Is
knew
he
a Jim that wasn't nice.
Is he the one that Tom used to know in high school?
No, he didn't say anything. I think they just met at the warehouse. Why?
You remember, you asked me once if I had liked the boy. I said yes, mother. I showed you
The
his
boy
picture.
from the yearbook, yes.
Yes.
Laura,
His name was Jim O'Connor.
were you in love with this boy?
I don't know. The only thing I know is if it's Jim, you have to excuse me. I won't sit with you.
What is this nonsense? I will not have any of this nonsense from you and your brother. I've had enough. You will sit at the table.
Mother, you have to
your brother
excuse me,
has
please.
forgotten his key. You have to open the door.
No,
You
no.
will.
Mother,
You will open the
no.
door. I am busy in the kitchen. You open the door.
I replace you in the kitchen. Mother.
Fuss, seeing us over a gentleman caller. Compose yourself.
classical music on it then.
I didn't
Let's
finish my
play
line.
some Bach
Excuse
swing, I
me.
don't know. What's the matter?
Who's Laura? Oh, Laura's terribly shy.
Shy, huh? We don't meet shy girls nowadays. I never heard you mention you had a sister.
Well, now you know. Anyway, here's awesome book by D.H. Lawrence. There you are. Okay. Fine.
Like a newspaper.
That's what we have. Anyway, come to the terrace. Come.
What are you?
Here. Never knew you were a smoker.
Well, you know, I'm gonna send you a bit of goods.
What
Of course
good?
I'll take it. Public speaking. You know, you and I, we're not the warehouse type.
That's good to know, but what does the warehouse have to do with that?
Well, you know, it fits you really for executive positions. It's done a hell of a lot for me.
In what respect?
In every. Ask yourself, what's the difference between you, me, and man down the office? Brains? No. Abilities? No. Then what? Just one little thing.
What's this one little thing?
Primarily, it amounts to social points.
Ah,
Being able to square up to any social level.
Tom, is that you and Mr. O'Connor?
yes, Mother.
Ask Mr. O'Connor if he'd like to wash his hands.
I already took care of that at the warehouse. You know, Mr. Mendoza was speaking about you earlier.
There?
What do you think?
Well,
If you do not wake up, you are going to be out of a job.
I am waking up.
You show no signs.
I am. The signs are interior. Look, about to commit myself to the future listening to Mr. Mendoza, the warehouse was even a public speaking class at my school.
What are you guessing about?
I'm sick of the movies. Yes, movies. Look at all those glamorous characters gobbling up all the adventures. Who said that they are supposed to have all the adventure in America, while everybody in America sits in a dark room and watches them have them? See, that's what happens. They sit and wait until a war breaks out. That's when everybody gets a piece of adventure. Well, I'm sick of waiting. My patience is gone. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to move. Yes.
Move where?
I don't know. I have no idea. But every time I pick up a shoe at the warehouse, I think to myself how short life is and what I'm doing. And one thing I'm sure about is shoes are something to wear on traveler's feet. And that's all. So that's it. And look, what? Look what I have here. Look.
The Union Russian Seaman?
Yes, I paid my fees last month instead of the light bill.
You're gonna regret it when they turn the lights off.
It's okay, I won't be here.
Where are you going to be? What about your mother?
So what? I'm like my father, the bastard son of a bastard. He left us 16 years ago and still missing. And look, he's grinning. Look.
You're just talking, you trip.
Sick of this.
Where are you all?
Look, Mother doesn't know about my cat, right? It's
Where are you all?
crazy.
Well, well, well. So this is Mr. O'Connor. I've heard so much about you from my boy. Introduction entirely unnecessary. I finally said to him, Tom, why don't you invite this paragon over to dinner instead of singing his praises all the time? I don't know why he's so standoffish, my Tom. It's just not Southern behavior. Let's go in. Let's go. Sit down. Tom, you need boil when summer really gets started. Would you like some? Oh, right. So yes, I was saying to myself, the only solution for this would be light clothes and light food. You know, the blood gets really thick in the winter. It takes a while for us to adjust ourselves to the change in temperature. Yes, light clothes and light food. I picked this up from my old trunk. It's old, ancient really, but it feels so good and cool on my skin. Go speak to your sister. Yes.
I want some supper.
Supper is your sister's responsibility. You go and speak to your sister. Tell her you hungry boys are waiting for you. Have you met my
Yes,
Laura?
Mom.
Let you in? Oh good, you're acquainted. You know, it's rare for a girl as sweet and pretty and lovely as my Laura to be domestic. But she is. Not only sweet and pretty and lovely, but domestic, very domestic. She made dinner tonight. I never was domestic myself. Goodness, all I could make was angel food cake. You see, I grew up in the South, where we had lots of servants and a big house, and I said to myself, surely I will marry a planter or a son of a planter, and I raise my children on a big piece of land and with lots of servants. I never knew what the future would bring. I married a man from the telephone company, that gallantly smiling young man over there. He fell in love with long distances. Now he travels and I don't know where he goes. Listen to me going on about my trials and tribulations. Tell me about yours. You don't have any, I hope. Tom?
Yes, Mom.
Dinner?
Yes, it's coming. Look.
All right. Well, tell your sister to come and join us. Laura, come join us.
Mother,
Yes?
seems to me like supper is waiting on the table.
Well, tell your sister to come and join us. Laura, come in here. Laura, come in here. Laura, can you come in here for a second?
Mother, Laura says she's a bit sick and she feels it's better if she doesn't join us.
Nonsense. Laura, you can't sit down until you come to the table. Sit down. We can't say grace until you come to the table. And, oh, Daphne, there's my Laura. Well, I told you she was sitting at the stove all afternoon, cooking. It's so hot. I hope so too. Mom, is she going to be okay? Sit down. I think I hear rain. I think the weather will be much better after a light shower. Let's sit down to dinner. I think we'll say grace now. Tom, say grace.
Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, and for your
Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, for all your mercies. Amen. Dessert? A little of this will do you all. Oh,
Hi there, Mr. Lightbulb.
Jim, do you know where Moses was when the lights went out?
No, ma'am.
In the dark? Well, thank goodness I have these candles that I shone light. With your help, Mr. O'Connor. Can you help me light these candles, please? There we go. I wonder if it would be a problem with the fuse. Take this with you, and let's go and check. I don't know how to check those fuses, and I know Tom is at a complete loss when it comes to electricity. Come. This way. Be careful now. We don't want our gentleman caller breaking his neck.
Where is the fuse box?
Over there, in the stove. Well, above the stove, I should say. There we go. Can you see it?
Just a minute.
Strange Benjamin Franklin that first tied the key to a kite? They say technology solves all issues, so I think it just creates new ones. Nearly done?
This fuse box looks okay to me.
Tom,
Yes,
you know that light bill I told you we got for the 10th time? The one we couldn't ignore anymore?
Yeah.
Did you happen to pay that bill I gave you?
Well,
You didn't. Such a high price to pay for negligence these days. Dear me.
Well, maybe he wrote a poem on that light bill. And the light bill will win the $10 prize.
At least they let us finish dinner before they plunged us in everlasting darkness. We'll have to spend the remainder of the evening in the 19th century. Before Thomas Edison invented the master lamp. Right. You say candlelight is your favorite kind of light?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that just shows you're romantic. However, it's no excuse for Tom. As punishment for your negligence, you will have me wash the dishes.
Well, let me give you a hand.
No, honey. You have been good enough all evening. I tell you, without exaggerating, that no one has given me such a good time as you have in years.
Really?
However, if you insist on being helpful, Laura is all on her own over there.
Okay.
Why don't you go and keep her company?
All right.
Take this candle brush over here. That's right. And give her some wine. Some wine should really help her cool down a little. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Can you carry both?
Yes, of course. I'm Superman.
Now, Tom, in the kitchen. In the kitchen.
Hello, Dandela.
Hello.
How you feeling now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Drink it, but don't get drunk. Where should I set the candles?
Anywhere?
About there. Any objections?
No?
All right. I'd like to sit on the floor. Mind if I do?
No?
Well, why don't you join me then?
I will.
Oh, sorry. I didn't clean the floor. No, you don't sit on the floor.
I'm invited to the dirty place. Let's keep it between you and I. I can see you sitting way over there.
I can see you.
I know. Oh, there's limelight. Good. Comfortable?
Yes?
So am I. Comfortable as a cow. Would you care for a piece of gum?
No, thank you.
I think I will indulge with your permission. Well, you know, think of the piece of the fortune made by the guy who invented the first piece of gum. Amazing, huh? The Wrigley Building is one of the sights of Chicago. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't.
All right. Your brother tells me you're shy now. Is that right?
I don't know.
Well, I think it's an old-fashioned type, but it's a good one. I hope you'll not mind me being too personal, do you?
I believe I'll take a piece of gum if you don't mind.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Singing? Me? Where did you hear me sing?
You didn't remember me at all.
Well, you know, I had this idea. I've seen you before. Even the name I was about to call you right away when you came on the door. But it wasn't really a name, it was...
Wasn't it Blue Roses?
Blue Roses! Yes, Blue Roses! It was in high school, wasn't it? You were Shakespeare's sister. I didn't hear you. That's amazing. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you.
I didn't expect you to. You barely knew me.
But we did have a speaking acquaintance, right?
Yes, of course. We were in the same class.
Wow, which class was that?
Chorus singing class. And
Really?
we sit next to each other on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You don't remember us.
Oh, now I remember. You always came in late.
Yeah, it was hard for me getting upstairs.
Hmm.
I had that brace on my leg. It climbed so long.
Really? I never noticed any clumpings.
For me, it clamped like thunder.
Well. Never even noticed. Well, I used to call you Blue Roses, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I was out of school with blue roses. When I came back, you asked me what was the matter. I said I had blue roses. You thought I said blue roses. That's why you called me out like that.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't mind.
No, not at all. To be honest, I liked it because I didn't have much friends. It was something great for me,
Yeah.
someone to call me such a...
As I remember, you sort of stood by yourself.
Yes, I started it badly.
Why? You were shy with people.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know, people are not so dreadful when you get to know them. And I think I know what's the trouble with you. It's inferiority complex. You know what? You just have to overcome it. People are not so bad when you get to know them. I know, because I had it too, but I overcame it with public speaking class. It was not that difficult. You know, just have to work on it. Sort of gradually. What are you doing?
But here you are. It was nice.
Where did you get that from? Indeed, I played Sir Toby. And I sang Otherwise Bessie. Wow.
Yeah. You sang it so beautiful.
Wow.
So beautiful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard you during all the rehearsals and the day of performance.
All the performances and rehearsals?
Yeah.
Why?
I wanted you to autograph my program, that's all.
Why didn't you ask me then?
You were always surrounded by your young friends.
You mean I was really good by girls at that time, huh? I was spoiled in high school, I have to say. Well, there you go. Well, you know, my signature is not worth much lately, but who knows, one day maybe. And I'm only 23 after all. How old are you, Laura?
I'll be 24 in June.
Oh, that's not old age. Did you finish high school?
No. I dropped out because I made bad grades in my final examination.
Oh, that's too bad. But what about now? What are you doing?
Nothing.
You must have been doing something all this time.
I took business course in business college.
How did that go?
I dropped out because it gave me indigestion.
I see. Okay. Well, so what about now? Are you doing something special?
Nothing. Oh, please don't think I'm just sitting without doing anything. My glass collection takes a good deal of time. Glass is something that you have to take a good care of.
Not quite sure I understand what you're talking about.
My glass collection. Little articles of glass, the tiniest in the world. Most of them are animals. Wait, I'll show you.
Okay.
Here's an example. Take it. But hold it gently, please.
Where's
And
that
don't-
unicorn?
Yes.
I thought this creature was extinct.
Don't breathe. Oh, it's brave.
Oh, then I shouldn't have told it I'm pretty clumsy with
No,
things.
no problem. I trust you with them. You know, put it through the light and see how the light shines through it.
Well, it sure does shine. Where shall I put it?
On the table.
Oh, alright. Oh, I think the rain just stopped. Do I hear music? Where does it come from?
The next honey.
Oh, how about cutting a rug, Miss Wingfield?
Who, me?
Yes.
No, I can
Come on.
take.
You
The table, I think.
something fall off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it broken?
No,
Oh.
it just became like the others. No need to be sorry, you know.
Well, I feel so sorry. I broke its horn. I mean,
No problem. I just imagined that he had an operation. Like the others.
that's funny. You know, you're a funny girl. You're very different from any girl I know. You know, not in a bad way. I mean, in a nice way. You're very different from any people I know. Well, you're blue roses,
That blue is wrong for roses.
but you're pretty.
In what respect am I pretty?
In every. Your eyes are pretty. Your hands are pretty. Your scarf is pretty. Well, somebody ought to build up your confidence. Somebody ought to kiss you. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I went too far. You know, if I had a sister like you, I would have brought gentleman callers to see her. But I guess Tom did a mistake with me. I'm not gonna take the phone and say I'll phone, and I'm not going to call and say I'll ask for a date.
You won't call?
I can't. I'm afraid I can't, Laura. Well, you know, I kind of go steady with this girl, Betty. I am engaged to her, and I'll be married to her in the second Sunday of June. I'm really strong about it. What are you doing?
Take it as souvenir.
What?
You know I needed someone to love me, but you just left me here and I'm lonely.
Well, well,
You
well.
know I need-
Isn't the weather lovely after that shower? I brought your children some liquid refreshment. Do you know the song about lemonade, Jim?
No, ma'am.
Lemonade, lemonade, make the shake and stir to the space. Split it up for a ready old maid. Why, Laura, you look so serious.
We were having a serious conversation.
Well, at least you're acquainted now. I see. Serious conversation. Why, you children are always so serious. When I was your age, I was very happy.
Well, sir, Mrs. Winfield.
Oh, it's the gaiety of the occasion. I'm rejuvenated. Right. I put some maraschino cherries in here too. Taste it.
Oh,
Nice, huh?
oh, that's really good. You shouldn't have made such efforts.
It was no
Not that
trouble
big a
at all, young man. It was great, in fact. I bet you heard me cutting up in the kitchen. I was just telling Tom that I was very disappointed in him for having kept you to himself for so long. Well, now that you're here, you will be a frequent caller. Come whenever you want. Not just sometimes, all the time. There's so much fun we could be having together, you and I and Laura. Well, I'll just step back in the kitchen now.
No.
What?
I should be going.
So soon?
Yes.
But it's only the beginning of the evening.
I know, but I have two things to do. One in the morning, one in the night.
Oh, you work at night too? You're very ambitious.
No. It's Betty.
Betty? Who's Betty?
Well, it's my fiance. We're going to be
Oh,
we're engaged and we're going to be married
how lovely.
soon.
How lovely. Tom didn't tell us you were getting married.
Well, the news didn't came up yet in the warehouse. You know how they call you Romeo and
Yes, I see. I hope you've enjoyed yourself anyway.
Well, I have really to go because
Yes?
Betty is waiting for me in the train station. You know how girls are when you keep them waiting, so.
The tyranny of women.
Yeah.
Mr. O'Connor, it was very nice to meet you.
Well, I guess this was.
And I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you.
And Laura does too. Don't you, Laura?
Well,
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
thank you. Don't forget my advice. So long, Shakespeare.
Well. Things have a way of turning out so badly. Tom, come in here a minute. I'd like to tell you something funny.
Where's our gentleman caller? Did he...
He had to make an early departure. That was a wonderful joke you played on us.
What do you mean?
You didn't tell us that our gentleman caller, Jim, is in fact engaged to be married.
Jim?
Yes.
Engaged? I don't know.
It seems peculiar to me.
What?
Very peculiar.
What's peculiar about it?
You say this is your best friend at the warehouse? It just seems peculiar to me that you wouldn't know your own best friend is getting married.
Look, the warehouse is where I work, not where I know things about people.
You don't know things anywhere. You live in a world of your own. You manufacture illusions. Where are you going?
What's the movies?
That's right. Go to the movies. It doesn't matter that we've just made fools of ourselves in front of a complete stranger. It doesn't matter the expenses that I've had to put out to decorate this house and the dress for Laura to entertain some other girl's fiancé. That doesn't matter. Go to the movies. Don't let us get in the way of your selfish pleasures. Go to the movies. I don't matter. A mother abandoned, a sister who's crippled and has no job. We don't matter. Go to the movies. Go.
Fine. I'll go. And the more you shout, the faster I'll go. But this time, I'm not going to the movies.
Fine. Go wherever you want. Go to the moon, you selfish dreamer.
I did not go to the moon. I went much farther. For time is the longest distance between two places. Not long after that, I got fired for writing a poem on the lid of a shoebox. After that, I descended these steps, the fire exit, for one last time, following the footsteps of my father, trying to find
what was lost in motion. I traveled a great deal. Cities went by me like dead leaves. But wherever I went, every time I turned around, I saw my sister. I looked into her eyes and... Oh, Laura. Laura. I tried to leave you behind me, but I was more faithful than I intended to be. I cross the street. I reach out for a cigarette. I go to the movies or to the nearest bar. I talk to strangers. Anything that would blow your candles out, Laura. And so, Laura, the world is lit by lightning nowadays. So, blow out your candles, sister.